Hey guys, so last week we were at AmSpa, the medical spa show in Las Vegas. And so I thought it would be a fun training session to kind of share with you how trade shows and community events for your aesthetic business really can be a big hit with the proper planning and execution. And without that, it could really be a mix in a huge waste of time, money, and it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work to do trade shows and community events. So I want to share with you my experience that I've learned in best practices and secrets from well over a decade of doing trade shows and community events. And I have been on both sides of the tables. I have helped run trade show events, and I certainly have been a vendor. So I've seen and personally experienced some really big hits and some really big misses when it comes to trade shows and community events. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 secrets 10 secrets to making sure that your trade show and community events are really at the end of the day worth your time and your money for your aesthetic practice. Because guys, I can tell you, after just returning from Las Vegas last weekend with our team, I think my feet still hurt after it's been a week now since we were there. It is exhausting, not just like physically exhausting, but it really is kind of like emotionally draining as well, because you just have to be on and you have to just be giving and pouring into people, because otherwise at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything for you if you are one of those poor little vendor booths that just sits behind their table and wait for people to come to you. And so today I want to share with you my trade show secrets, okay? Because I want it to be wildly successful for you. So first and foremost, and I know this seems like a no-brainer, but so many people miss that, in the sense of you need to first set what your goal and intention and expectations behind this trade show or community event, right? And of course, everyone wants to make sales, right? And they want to, generate a whole bunch of revenue, of course, but that's not always realistic or, for an event at the end of the day. Now, I want you to get sales, but you have to remember why people are there and everything that is happening. And you also have to think about, are you recommending services that are low barrier of entries, that are very transactional, that you can sell? Or is it more about collecting leads or scheduling consultations so that you have more customized time to be able to make recommendations with those leads or those patients? So be very clear on your intentions. I remember years ago that I had a client, and it wasn't my trade show, but this med spa invested in this huge sponsorship for a trade show event at a kids fair. And they were sold the idea of like, all these moms bring their kids. There is, 6,000 people that attend, and you are going to be able to just sell so much Botox and filler. And I was thinking, like, if I have my kids with me, and I have 4 kids, remember, if I have my animals with me, there is no way that I can sit in a chair and get Botox or filler, right? No way are you going to be killing sales at a kids fair event, even though all the moms are there. That's a great audience for you. The goal would not to get sales that day. The goal would be to get leads, right? And she was wildly disappointed at the end of the day, because she was sold the dream that she was going to sell tens of thousands of dollars. So make sure that you are choosing the right venue with the right audience, And I'm not saying that kids fairs aren't a place for you, but the goal wouldn't be to do actual treatments day up, right? Because it's not going to happen when kids are running around like crazy. So make sure that you have the right goal and intentions in mind. The next thing is you have to absolutely be bold and stand out. I just like, it's my pet peeve to see vendors while I'm a vendor at another trade show and I'm looking across the room and down the aisles. And if my team was going to be at a trade show event and their butts were sitting in seats, hiding behind tables and not getting out and inviting and welcoming people in, oh man, would I have a problem with that. And that literally gets you nothing, gets you nowhere, gets you no leads, has no real solid conversations at the end of the day. So you got to get out from behind the table and you got to welcome and invite people in. You have to start conversations. Okay, so make sure that you are bold. The next thing is that you want to do outreach before and after the event. So you want to post on social media, you want to have blogs, you want to send text messages and emails, and you want to do post-event follow-up phone calls. So the outreach before and after is equally as important as the conversations that you are having before the event. So before we went to AmSpa last week, we sent out an email and a text message letting our entire database, both leads and existing clients, know that we were going to be at the show as a vendor and that I was going to be speaking at AmSpa as well. And we had great response of like, oh man, bummed, I'm going to miss it. That's so cool. You guys are doing it. Oh, I'm coming there. I'm going to be sure to stop by and say hi. And then so many people also stopped in at our booth and was like, hey, I got your message. I want to come by and say hi. And so you got to hit them with frequency and consistency. And even if they weren't able to attend it, you're still showing that you're out there, that you're doing big things in your community or your industry. Okay. So you want to make sure that that's an important piece of your overall strategy is before and after, and using all the tools in your tool belt for marketing to increase frequency, consistency, and messaging, and not just seeing it as a one-day opportunity or a weekend opportunity for that matter. The next thing is that you want to make sure that you assign to your marketing or your social media person or yourself, if you are that person, what you want to do for stories, posts, lives, and shot lists that you want to be collecting while you're there. Guys, there is so much happening at the actual event going on, and you're tired on top of that, right? That if you don't have this orchestrated and mapped out, it is so fast for it to just pass you by. So you want to make sure that you are planning ahead of time and that you have this one assigned to the person, and two, they understand what the expectations are and making sure that they deliver day of and post event. You don't want to do this afterwards because everyone's going to be tired, right? And so there should be specific delegation and timelines and expectations set when it comes to what happens with stories, posts, lives, and shot lists. The next thing is that you want to take advantage of the other vendors' audiences that are there. So again, you don't want to do this with competitors per se, but if there are other vendors at the trade show or the community event that aren't competitors but share a like audience as you do, then you want to go take a picture with them, do a video or a fun little reel with them, right? And tag them in your social media content, because that is going to give you an opportunity to have presence and exposure to their audience, right? That again is not competition, but that you share that same common audience. So that is a really great opportunity. This is again is something you want to delegate or assign prior to make sure that it happens so that it's on your shot list. So you want to target 6 to 8 vendors or other booths that you can do something fun with, right? And then and tag them and comment to be able to have access to their audience. Another great one is to do a live broadcast at the event. And you can do that a couple times, really. You can do it with other vendors. You can just let people know that you're there. You can let people know what you're giving away or what swag you're giving away. There's so many great opportunities with live broadcasts, and make sure that you're tagging the event and or other vendors to increase your audience size. The next thing is that you want to do great raffles or giveaways. So this is where you want to engage with your vendors for product, because this helps to lure people in. So I'm just going to give you, Diamond Accelerator. We're the Diamond Girls. So here's some of the different swags that we have done at vendor booths. So at Aesthetic Next last year, one of the theme nights was like neon, like club night or something like that. So we did these blingy rings that light up. And it says, you can't see it, but it says Diamond Accelerator on it. And so we gave those to all of the attendees, and they wore them the night of, and it was super fun. Another great thing that we give out are these water bottles. And they really pop and stand out in our booth. And it's a great conversation starter. Now, I will tell you that we learned some things along the way. So we used to give out hundreds of these water bottles. And we learned along the way that while it gets people to stop and have lots of conversations, our ideal target audience or business owner or decision maker for us isn't always the one that's like super attracted to the bling. Oftentimes their employees are more attracted to it, but it still gets people to absolutely stop. So I don't give away hundreds of these water bottles anymore. I limit it down really to 25 or 50, depending on how big the show is. And I have it on big, beautiful display so everyone sees it and everyone asks about it. And in essence, to get it, you have to do a demo, right? So you can have some great swag item that you're getting, but in order to get it, you have to schedule a consultation, right? That could be something that you can do as a way to stop people, engage in conversations, and create opportunity for business at the end of the day. So you'll want to make sure you reach out to your vendors, ask them what consumables potentially they could give you, or swag that they can give you to help have a really amazing event at the end of the day. Okay, you also can draw attention by hiring a spokesperson or have a character mascot, wear something cool and trendy. So something that the Diamond Girls, when we go to a trade show, we like to dress alike. So like one day we wore really like sparkly sequency things and everyone loved it. Another day we wore like hot pink with blingy shoes, right? We always try to stay on brand with pink and sparkles and whatnot. And we get so many comments. It's so memorable. It's so on brand. So think about how you can stand out and really shine and be memorable. Think about if you can hire maybe a local not sports, but spokesperson or celebrity or influencer potentially to support you and to get people to stop at your event. And again, you got to know your audience, right? So if you're at a kids fair, hiring a character or a mascot of like a Disney character to entertain the kids while you talk to mom might be a great idea, right? Or if you're at a women's show, you're not going to hire a cartoon character, right? You have to, again, know your audience. Maybe it's about you and your brand and investing in your team and their style that can be then used back in the office, right? So think about what makes the most sense for you and your brand. The next thing is you really need to have knowledgeable and engaging staff. So this goes back to the fact of your staff can't sit behind the table. You got to get out and welcome people in. And then once you welcome in, you got to provide value to them. They need to be able to answer questions with understanding the goal in mind is to either sell something and or get consultations booked, or at least collect lead information so you can follow up with them later. It does you no good to just have warm bodies in the booth, okay? And so you need to make sure that you choose team members that are gonna, go and be approachable. My team members, like it's always so funny to me. Like I'll be like, all right, it's your turn to go have lunch, or it's your turn to take a coffee break. And time again, while they're at lunch or on a coffee break, they are bringing, people back to have conversations with us, or they did a demo while they were sitting there eating lunch, because I specifically choose people that are outgoing, that understand who it is that we want to speak with, and they understand our business in and out to be able to have great conversations to either close business or get consultations booked. So make sure that you are choosing the right people to work your booth or your event, and that they are, outgoing, right? They're not afraid to talk to people. They don't wait for people to come to them. The next is you need to be prepared for follow-ups, because the money is absolutely in the follow-up, guys. Yes, some business happens day of, but by far and away, the money is in post-event activity, okay? So you need a way to easily follow up with all of those leads. Have it delegated, assigned, and track the results at the end of the day. And the last thing is that you always need to review the results, right? Have a debrief with your team so that you can learn what worked, what didn't, what was a big miss, where was our opportunity to get better next time. Because I can't tell you how many trade shows I've done over the years, but every single time I learn something, and every single time I change up my trade show and community event SOP. I either take away or add to it, because there is always opportunity to grow and get better, or provide more support to your team members at the end of the day. All right, so now I'd be happy to open up the floor for any questions regarding either trade show best practices or community event best practices at this point. Anyone in the chat have any questions for us before we wrap up? Hey, Dr. Pickens, thanks for joining us. Hey, Jessica. Hi, Marissa. Awesome. Okay, I will go ahead and wrap up here. If you loved this training, make sure that you share it with another team member or med spa that can benefit, and you can catch the replay on our YouTube channel. Remember that we are here every single week, same time, same place on Wednesdays. And to get more access to free trainings to help your medical aesthetic business grow, visit our link tree in our social bio, and be sure to join us live every single Wednesday, guys. Same time, same place. Find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks so much for joining us.